Hey everybody, it's Matt Mayoko at NBC Sports Bay Area checking in with you on Friday morning, the morning after. The morning after the 49ers season was blown to smithereens. That's the way I described it in my report card. Kind of a tough report card to write or to grade after the 49ers 12-6 loss to the Rams, just because the defense played so well and the offense did not. And then the other areas of this game where Dre Greenlaw provided the lift by coming back to the team and playing very well in the first half. And then the game ended in the second half with Dre Greenlaw feeling some discomfort in his knee and that leg that he had, the Achilles, the ruptured Achilles. And then De'Vondre Campbell, a veteran who probably walked off an NFL field for the final time. And you know, it's one of those things where very few times. I do remember 20. I was going to say very few times I've been around a player who's quit on his team like that. I don't think I ever have been. In fact, I remember the 2010 season was kind of a weird year early in that season because you had Glenn Coffey retire abruptly as he was beginning to enter his second year in the NFL. You had Kentwan Balmer leave the team because he was disappointed with his lack of playing time. And then you had a veteran, a safety, Michael Lewis, who basically quit the team too because he was losing playing time to Taylor May. So that was a long time ago, but this one was very interesting because you heard teammates speak out. George Kittle, Charvarius Ward, Ward calling it a sucker move, and George Kittle talking about the selfish nature of De'Vondre Campbell, who apparently thought he should be continuing as the starter, even with Dre Greenlaw coming back. So Kyle Shanahan showed some restraint by not labeling it anything other than just describing what it was that he didn't want to play football on Thursday night. And so um, that's where the 49ers are. I'm going to talk a lot more about this, and the game and just where the 49ers go from here. But first, this video is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery, located in Moraga, California, with a nice selection, wide variety of beer styles to satisfy all your beer needs, as well as some great menu items, tasty bites, wide variety of menu items, and it's all located in a very family-friendly atmosphere in Moraga, pretty close to where I live, so I stop by there quite regularly. And it'll be coming soon to the Livery in Danville. Okay, speaking of Kyle Shanahan, when you think about who's to blame for this season, for the 49ers season, um, hey, it's the highest paid guys. It's Kyle Shanahan at the top of the list. It's John Lynch, the general manager. And then, the high profile guy on the team, not the highest paid, in fact, one of the lowest paid players on the team. But, Brock Purdy has to accept responsibility for what happened here. And hey, look, he's going to get his big contract. There's no question about it. But he did not play up to the level that the 49ers expect of him, that he expects of himself. And coming off a season in which he finished fourth in the MVP voting, was he going to be able to replicate that kind of season? I don't think anybody expected him to put together a passer rating of 113, and set team records every year, in many cases now breaking his own records. But I think that with Purdy, with so many other guys on his team, the big time players, the Pro Bowl players, simply did not play up to their standards. And whether that was due to injuries, well, it doesn't matter. They did not perform up to their standards. And that goes for Brock Purdy, the only guy that I think you could say, boy, he showed up, he played every week. Injuries did not impact him. He missed a game or two along the way. But George Kittle, so clearly the MVP of this team. And everybody needs to follow his lead. And if the 49ers are going to, it's going to be a very interesting offseason to see what they have to do to get back to where they want to get, to the place that they had been the previous three seasons. And I don't think it's an easy fix at all. Let's talk about Purdy for just a bit because he did not play well of course, he had the huge drop that Deebo Samuel had in this game. I'm going to talk more about Deebo Samuel and his future, as well as Javon Hargrave. Kind of bring this into focus and give you some insight into where those two guys are. But Deebo Samuel had that. Rewatching the play at the time, I wondered, well, could he have scored a touchdown? Absolutely, he could have scored a touchdown on that play. In fact, just the way Purdy delivered the ball in stride, he probably, yeah, he would have scored, and that could have been a game changer right there for the 49ers. In fact, Deebo Samuel said after the game, if he makes that catch, he scores, the 49ers win. I don't know if it's that simple, but Deebo Samuel put the pressure on himself. And I know people in the 49ers were kind of happy when he went to social media and said he's not struggling, he's just not getting the ball. So they thought that that might light a fire under Deebo and really give him that motivation to go out Thursday night and have himself a heck of a game. It simply did not happen. And that has been one of the storylines here, certainly in the second half of the season. Deebo Samuel's production fallen off dramatically from what it has been in the past. So anyway, the big play for Brock Purdy in this game was the interception that he threw, and it was a play in which it's kind of difficult to tell, but it sounded like Kyle Shanahan didn't have an issue with the throw based on everything that presented itself at the time of the snap and what he saw. So here's how Kyle Shanahan said that Jauan Jennings, and we're talking about the mid fourth quarter, about 5 minutes left in the game, 49ers were at the 33-yard line of the Rams. So you're at that point, you're looking at a 50-yard field goal. It was 2nd and 10, and they decided to give it a deep shot. And the way Shanahan described it was that Jauan Jennings ran a stutter go, and the cornerback on that side, Darius Williams, buckled his feet a little. So Brock threw it up to try to give Jauan a chance. And he said, as Jauan was exiting, he ran into him and slowed him down a little bit. And then there was only the corner there. He called it an unfortunate play based on just what happened after the ball was released. So it sounded like Shanahan had no issue with the decision making on Purdy's part, but just how the play turned out. It didn't turn out well, obviously. And what Purdy had to say was he thought that he had the right look with the corner off and thought that he would be aggressive and give JJ a shot to go make the play. And as it turns out, obviously, it was the wrong decision. And what Purdy says that he can take from that is just, situational awareness. It was a 2nd and 10 play. It wasn't a 3rd and 10 or a 4th and 10. It was a play where he said he probably should have just checked it down, lived to play another down, and not make that kind of the game changing play, or the game that really the play really ended up costing the 49ers any chance of coming back and winning that game because of what the Rams did defensively, or I should say what the Rams did offensively, controlling the ball all the way down to the end, kicking the field goal, and really leaving the 49ers no time in this game. So check out the 49ers Talk podcast. Jennifer and I talk a lot more about the De'Vondre Campbell thing and just what it means. It was just a unique situation, and there were a lot of disappointed people, a lot of really, I think, offended people when you consider all the things that some of these players on the team have gone through to get back on the field. Here you had a guy who refused to get on the field. And so, we'll see. I mean, I can't imagine the 49ers won't go a day without making some sort of roster move with him. I think it's fair to say that De'Vondre Campbell has played his final game for the 49ers and perhaps in the NFL as well. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Deebo Samuel and Javon Hargrave because I have said, and now I'm backtracking, that Deebo Samuel would definitely be on the team next season. The way his contract is structured, it kind of lends it 50-50. The 49ers can go either way contractually as far as the money devoted to him in the future, what it would mean on the salary cap as far as dead money, spreading that hit over multiple years and all of that. But what the 49ers have to determine at this point is whether Deebo Samuel still has it. And uh, Deebo is 28 years old. He'll be 29 next season. The Deebo Samuel we've seen here certainly over the past 5 weeks has been a guy who cannot make the first person miss. And what has Deebo been known for throughout his career with the 49ers? It's being a very tough tackle. Yards after the catch, running over guys, eluding guys, but never going down one on one with the first tackle attempt. And so, Deebo Samuel is not a precise route runner. He has difficulty beating man coverage. I don't know why I pronounced it that way, but I did. He has difficulty beating man coverage, and he's good like against zones where he can catch the ball on the move, turn up field, and then with a head of steam pick up those yards. But those elements of his game have been severely lacking. The running part of it, lining up in the backfield, taking the jet sweeps, severely lacking. So I think it's very much iffy if Deebo Samuel is back next season because the 49ers have to contemplate what he brings to the table, how he can help the team next season. I know he's a popular guy in the locker room. Kyle Shanahan has a very strong relationship with him, but it's a football decision, it's a business decision, and that's where John Lynch and the personnel department would have to step in and make that decision. So what would I put the odds at for Deebo Samuel? I think I'd go 50-50. Here's the thing with Javon Hargrave is the contract that he agreed to, the kind of the restructured deal or tinkered with deal or whatever, the redid deal. It allows the 49ers to release him early before the start of free agency or right at the start of free agency and allow for the post June 1 benefits on the salary cap for next season, spreading out that hit of the dead money over 2 years. Javon Hargrave knows he's going to be released because his original scheduled salary was $19 million. Everybody knows the 49ers weren't going to pay that. But what the 49ers also did when they agreed to this deal, and for Hargrave, it was allow me to hit free agency early. And for the 49ers, their request was that they want to be involved. They would like an opportunity to be able to re-sign him at a contract that makes more sense for the team. And so I think Javon Hargrave will undoubtedly become a free agent at the beginning of the free agent signing period. Then it becomes if the 49ers have the capital, if they want to be a serious player in re-signing him. I think the 49ers want him back. I know the 49ers want him back, but certainly not at the level that he was scheduled to make, that $19 million. So right now, it's iffy, I think, whether Deebo Samuel and or Javon Hargrave comes back. Uh, we'll see how this season ends, but my guess would be Deebo Samuel has a better chance of coming back than Javon Hargrave, but we shall see where it all turns out. But there are a lot of questions with this team entering the offseason with Trey Greenlaw uh, being a scheduled unrestricted free agent, Charvarius Ward being a scheduled unrestricted free agent. Same with Talanoa Hufanga. Same with Aaron Banks. So 49ers have a lot of work to do. But just going back to this failed season, 6-8 now with 3 games left in the season. Their playoff hopes have been dashed. And, like I said, the people most responsible are the people in the most powerful and important positions on the team. And the organization has some decisions to make on whether they believe that just bringing back the injured players and getting that full roster together, having a longer offseason, which they will have by more than a month, um, to rest, get ready. But, if this team brings back all these guys healthy and playing football that you would expect them to be able to still play at their ages, can the 49ers be better next season? Can the 49ers make a run for the Super Bowl next season with Christian McCaffrey, with a healthy Brandon Ayuk? When will he get healthy? I'm not quite sure. Could be somewhat early in the 2025 season. Trent Williams back, um, a healthy Fred Warner, a healthy Nick Bosa, more reinforcements on the offensive and defensive lines. And then those players I just mentioned, the guys who a lot of them are returning from injury and are unrestricted free agents. So a lot of work for the 49ers to do this offseason. And it almost felt like the offseason, in a lot of ways, it kind of feels like the 2025 season began Thursday night when the clock hit zero. All right, thanks for tuning in to this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like and tell me what you think about where this team is going, where it should be going. And that's it for now.